And welcome to Ritter Arena in the 2015 Schwann Cup Hockey Tournament. It is the final game of the day, the final game in the boys varsity. It is the Gold Division Championship game, and a couple of very familiar foes will face off. It's a late conference battle. The Eden Prairie Eagles taking on the Minnetonka Skippers. Very pleasant good evening, one and all. My name is Joe Moore. I'll have the call of the action for you tonight. Along with me is Jack Sand. And Jack, we just got done with the silver game, a thrilling overtime win for Rosemont. So the South Suburban represented well here. This one, obviously, the Lake Conference is going to win. What should we expect tonight?
Well, you referred to that last game, and if it's anything like the last one, we're going to have a dandy. Right now, it's really interesting to me because we have two teams who seem to come off very different paths. Eden Prairie having to hold off Hill Murray last night with a 4-2 victory, while Minnetonka is coming off that upset win over Eden Prairie. Upset win over Edina. That's my fault. With Mario Bergottati with the Heroics. So we should be in for a good one here tonight.
We are underway. Eden Prairie considered the home team, so they wear the white with the rugby crimson and black stripes. A blast by Miller goes wide. Van Sant holds it and throws it out front. It bounces around. The rebound goes off the side of the net and in behind. Eden Prairie throws it up the wall. Miller will hold it in. Miller across for Van Sant. Van Sant again throws it out front. Winsek a save. Spinning with it is Pass. Pass gets it back to the point. Miller throws one toward the net. Winsek knocks it off into the corner as Minnetonka comes out firing here on the opening shift. Trying to walk out front as Bowman got it to the top of the crease before it's knocked away. Miller just drives one wildly off the back wall. It's finally picked up and skated to center by Cole Lawrence. Right wing pass finds Graham, and he'll send it deep into the Minnetonka's zone as both teams will change it up on the fly. Casey Middlestad is on with Steen and Sullivan now for Eden Prairie. Middlestad a 3-point night last night in that 4-2 win over Hill Murray.
Well, we saw already early in this first period that Minnetonka is here to play. They're not afraid of the big boys from Eden Prairie. They're here to care. They had some good chances there on that first drive and some big-time hits, too.
Comes out to center. Steen gets it to Middlestad down the left wing. Middlestad to the backhand. Got tied up from behind. Some good defensive work that time from Mitch Terrell.
Speaking of opportunities.
Break things up and back the other way quickly is Skarda. Skarda splitting the defense but loses the puck as he did so. Comes to the point and slides out into neutral ice where it's picked up by Molinar, and he'll drop it back for Terrell. Terrell gets it ahead at center, and it's just flipped into the Eden Prairie zone by TJ Rogers. Irwin up the wall. It's tapped out to center, and Van Sant from his blue line sends it ahead. Bringing it in over the line is Bertogliat. He'll throw it on goal line check. Gloves and holds in a faceoff coming in the Eden Prairie zone. We've got 14:52 left to play in a scoreless first period.
Well, as you alluded to, two teams that are very familiar with each other. So I am very excited to see what kind of hard-hitting, fast-paced action we see tonight. Going to be very fun, especially when the gold's on the line. Oh yeah.
Skarda gets dumped as Blakowiak and knocked them off the puck on the far wall. Held in. Van Sant throws it out front. It's knocked down, and the loose puck is picked up, carried out by Hugh Trumpy, and then sent deep into the Minnetonka zone by Blakowiak. Van Sant bumped by Trumpy as the puck slides loose behind the fray. Van Sant comes away with it, does a nice job to avoid the forecheck. Played it ahead out to center off the stick of Brendan Ryan. Now Blakowiak throws it back into the skipper zone. Van Sant will stick handle his way into the Eden Prairie zone, but offsides at the line. Sneaking in ahead of him was David Andes on the left wing. 14:09 to play, opening period, no score. Eagles and the Skippers, the first of 3 times that they will face each other, as you alluded to, Jack.
Very
familiar with one another. Scheduled to play about 3 weeks from now in Eden Prairie on Saturday, January the 16th. And then they'll play again in Minnetonka on Thursday, February the 4th.
And when you talk about this Eden Prairie team, a lot of the offense really comes through junior Casey Meidelstadt, the Gopher commit. The offense really flows through him. Team leader in points and assists. So if Eden Prairie is going to take home the gold tonight, it's going to have to. He's really going to have to bring it in this environment.
Swung up the left side, it bounces off Andes and is picked up, sent out to center. Sliding it deep into the Eden Prairie zone and giving chase is Mitch McGannon. Eagles will throw it out to center. Knocked down, sent right back in. And Weincheck will take no chances as Pearson pass was speeding in. Weincheck covers it up. Faceoff will come to his left with 13-13 left to play in the opening period. Shots a little surprising from my perspective. 4-0 in favor of Minnetonka to this point.
Well, last night, Minnetonka really felt like the underdog against Edina, and they came out and they were not afraid, and I think you see a little bit of that carryover here tonight. They are not afraid of a team that they are very familiar with, and they're here to fight, and they're definitely here to scrap. Should be a fun one.
Irwin plays it ahead. Now it'll be Graham through center. Graham, but Johannes couldn't quite drag that back skate. He's in ahead of the play on the right wing, offsides Eden Prairie. As the Eagles continue to search for that first shot. On Minnetonka goaltender Thomas Hansen. Hansen really has played the entire season for the Skippers, save but one game. He's given up 2 goals in each of the tournament games thus far, as Minnetonka has a pair of 3-2 wins to get to this championship game. Pearson passes shot over the top of the net. Back the other way is Lawrence. 2-on-2 as he hits the line. Lawrence lets the shot go. It deflects wide. Then shot and scores! Sharp angle shot as he picked it up off the end wall. And Cole Lawrence has his third of the tournament. He gives Eden Prairie a 1-0 lead on the Eagles' first shot on goal.
A little do-it-yourself there from Mr. Lawrence. Threw it off that back wall for himself and said, "Don't mind if I do," and tapped home that rebound.
Shot from not too far in front of the goal line. He went top shelf with it and beat Hansen. Hansen's been very impressive this season with goals against of 2.07 and a save percentage just under 93, so beaten early in this one. Molinar has it near wall, sends it ahead out to center, getting a stick on it was Sullivan. Young back to play it, chasing him as Rogers. Young leaves it off, and the Eagles will start ahead. Rail for Steen, in over the line, it's Middlestad. Middlestad had it knocked off his stick and sweeping back in. Molinar and Middlestad intercepted his pass, just slowed it down on the backhand. Line check the save.
Great save.
Getting the opportunity that time for Minnetonka was Skarda. Back the other way comes Steen. Steen lets the shot go, but wide. Skarda will play it off the far wall, gets bumped off the puck, but maintains possession. Now taken away by Steen, who ran into his own man. Van Sant will start ahead for the Skippers.
Oh, hello.
Bang it out to center as he's banged into the far wall. And over the line, a shot. Hansen the save. Rebound played by Blakawiak. Centering pass comes free, and overskating it was Trumpy as he was tied up through the slot.
Well, there's one of those big hits that we were talking about, and I'm sure we'll see 1 or 2 more before this night is done.
Blakawiak gives chase to the far wall. Picked up by Rainey. Goes around to the near side. Pinching down was Kimball to try to keep the play alive, and it's taken away from him. It's impacted with the result as Trumpy will chase it down for the Eagles. They head for the Rainey and right on in front of his net. The puck comes loose at the far wall. They're told threw it out front. The Eagles pick it up in front of the red line. Blakawiak dumps it deep in the top of his zone. Long pass gets tipped, but finds its target. Ryan Elder at center into the Eden Prairie zone. It just gets kicked down the slot, and finally Elder at the far wall turns, throws it on goal. Weincheck steers it near wall as he kind of got handcuffed by that one. Back the other way, it's tipped into the zone. Emerson giving chase, knocked away from him. Trying to hold it in on the far side is Borchert. Irwin falls down but recovers for Eden Prairie as he's chased back into his own zone by Andes. Now Lieberman plays it to the near side. And it gets shoveled high into the air and out into the neutral ice area where it's picked up by Olsen and sent deep into the Minnetonka zone.
Little how do you do from Ryan Edler there before he departed to the bench.
Rail plays it to the near side. Cross ice pass, glove down, played further along by Johannes, and then knocked back out to center. Young for Johannes. They kind of tie each other up as they group together. Skippers will retreat into their own zone with it. Van Sant at the near wall now. Bangs it out to center, right to Rail at his blue line. Sends it across. Olsen, or check that, Young gets it ahead off of Lawrence's stick. Lawrence in the corner gets pinned to the wall there by Van Sant. Young will hold it in, far point, and play it back down the wall. Lawrence, centering pass was behind Graham, and back comes Minnetonka the other way. Getting bumped off the puck as he came over the blue line that time was Pearson pass. Lawrence gets it ahead. A little bit too far for Johannes as the Skippers maintain the zone. Skippers a 6-2 shot advantage. Eden Prairie, the 1-0 lead as a sharp angle shot steered away by Weincheck and bounces out to center, picked up by Johannes. He'll send it in on goal. And back to play it defensively is Jack Kuzma. Kuzma gets it ahead behind everybody. Escarda, a quick shot, and Weincheck at the top of the crease. Gloves it and hangs on. Face-off coming in the Eden Prairie zone. 8:20 to play in the opening period. 1-0 Eagles.
Couple of bad turnovers here for Eden Prairie, and then not getting back has led to opportunities. And one thing I'm watching in this game is the junior goalie, Nick Wenowick. Normally the starter, as you mentioned, Joe, but he did not start yesterday in that victory against Hill Murray. So the legs are fresh, it's true. But I want to see if that day off.
Back from Middlestat. Oh, a great feed. Middlestat got it on goal. Hansen slid with him and makes the save to hang on. Go ahead, Jack.
Certainly a great opportunity there. I just want to see if the legs of the Eden Prairie netminder, if he can stay mentally tough after having that night off last night. We'll see how it turns out here.
Middlestat wins the draw. Irwin just plays it down into the corner, actually hit Middlestat with it. Middlestat ends up on the back of the net. The puck slides free, back to the point. Irwin winds up and just sends it down the wall. Middlestat behind the net. Gets pinned to the wall there. Loose puck comes free for Sullivan. Sends across ice, winding up. Lieberman. Oh, nice hard wrist shot by Hansen with the glove save as he got a good view of that one. Yet another face-off coming in the Minnetonka zone.
You alluded to it earlier, how normally good Thomas Hansen is. Just got beat by a better attempt on the early Eden Prairie goal by Cole Lawrence. We'll see if he can stay strong throughout the game because, as you said, Joe, he is a solid netminder. We'll see.
Olsen and McGannon on the draw. Olsen gets tossed. Emerson steps in. And Emerson wins it for Eden Prairie. Olsen tried to carry to the corner, got tied up. Olsen just pushes Doctor off the puck. Emerson trying to fight through a check behind the net. Giving chase is Borchard. Finally, it squirts free. It's lifted by Elder out to center and all the way back into the Eden Prairie zone. Olsen, the first one to it, fanned on the attempt. And now he's tied up with David Andes. It's Andes that skates away with it as he goes skate to stick. Got the shot off, steered aside by Weincheck.
Oh, it's starting to get chippy now.
And we're going to get the game's first penalty. It comes at the 10:01 mark of the opening period. And it's going to put Eden Prairie on the power play. Interference is the call. David Andes goes to the box for Minnetonka.
And he was not happy about it. I was watching him on that play. He felt like he got wrapped up. It looked like he thought it was Michael Graham who was tangled up with him, but Andes, will be the one ending up in the sin bin.
Eden Prairie power play on the year, 11 for 39. That's 28.2%. That's pretty good. 2 for 6 here in the tournament. That's even better.
And when you can score with that man advantage, it is such a huge plus.
Leverman to the far side. Sullivan tried to go cross ice, tipped away from Middlestat. Middlestat there gets taken down, no call as he's looking for a trip. Skipper's able to clear it the length of the ice. Leverman ahead for Sullivan. Look out behind as he plays it back to Leverman. And Leverman right up the middle of the ice. They skate 5 abreast. Graham had it go off his stick. Played back out to center. Lawrence ahead for Middlestat. He gets it into the Minnetonka zone. Tried to bat it ahead. It'll be held in along the wall. Lawrence plays it off the back wall and off the back of the Skipper net. And that's where the Skippers bang it out to center. The race is on, and Leverman wins it as he sweeps it back out to center. Brought back into the Eden Prairie zone by Skarda. He gets punished off the puck, or not Skarda, but Max Kavanaugh, rather. And now we're going to get an Eden Prairie penalty. So we will skate 4-on-4 for the next 51 seconds.
It's going to be a fine line tonight for these refs on two teams that are very familiar with each other and that are very chippy on the line between letting them play and, as we've just seen for the last couple of calls, sending it to 4-on-4 hockey.
Roughing is the call. It sends Eden Prairie's Nolan Sullivan to the box at the 11:10 mark. So a little more open ice as we skate 4-on-4. A shot from the point. Weinsick the save. Working back up the wall is Rogers. Rogers through the high slot. Gets bounced off the puck in the near face-off circles. It's played away by Trumpy. Pass by Olsen too far for Rail as the defenseman peels back, and Van Sant sends it back. Played ahead by Terrell, but intercepted by Trumpy and pushed back into the Minnetonka zone. In 15 seconds, Minnetonka will enjoy an abbreviated power play attempt, but right now they are bottled up in their own zone. It squirts free into the high slot. Rail pushes it toward the corner. Poked away from Trumpy. Rail throws it on goal. Hansen the save, and he'll hang on. Minnetonka back at full strength. Face-off coming to the right of their netminder, Thomas Hansen. 4:59 left to play in the opening period.
And as we've talked about a couple times now, these teams will see each other once or twice. So you wonder, and as a theme that we've seen in this tournament, it is the third game in 3 days for both teams. So we'll see how two teams that are very familiar with each other skate when a little gassed.
One of the things that both these teams have going for them is they're not afraid to play all 4 lines and play those third and fourth lines judiciously throughout the game. So it's very helpful in a tournament setting. Kind of nice to be a big school, have that pool to draw from.
Absolutely. And I think in some of the earlier games with some of the smaller schools, we did see some of those tired legs. So that definitely will be a factor.
Leverman sends it the length of the ice. 35 seconds left on the Minnetonka power play. As they get it into the zone, but offsides. Was slowed down by pass, and then he was over the line ahead of the puck. 29 seconds left on the power play time. 4:19 left to play in the opening period. It's 1-0 Eden Prairie. A Cole Lawrence goal at 4:24. The game's a lone tally thus far.
And I'm watching to see if the Minnetonka netminder can stay mentally focused after giving up a goal that really wasn't his fault. Real tough opportunity.
Centering pass gets tipped through the crease. Comes free in the corner. Van Sant brings it back toward the point. Lines it up. Lets it go. Getting a stick on it. Coming through that time was Brendan Ryan. Van Sant plays it up top. Thrown out front. And Weinsick steers it up into the netting behind the goal. And another face-off coming in the Eden Prairie zone. Eagles also now back at full strength. Will skate 5-on-5. Shots now 12-6 in favor of Minnetonka. Duraney and Rogers on the draw. Eagles win it, but can't advance it. Duraney in the corner, up the wall. That's past everybody out to center. Terrell slides it across. Sent back into the Eden Prairie zone, where it's picked up by Rail. Rail spins away from one forechecker and picks up a second one as he does so. Finds Trumpy on the right wing, ahead to center off Duraney's stick. Tapped free back into the Minnetonka zone and played away by Doctor, but not out of the zone. Now Doctor will pick it up and skate down the left wing, caught by Trumpy from behind. Picked up, backhanded across, and just a touch too far for Ryan Elder to put a stick on. Van Sant gets it back for Miller. Then sends it in off of McGannon's stick. Rail slaps it up the wall. Miller there to hold it in, play it back down the wall. It did squirt out to center, however. Sullivan sends it into the Minnetonka zone, and Keandre Miller plays it up the wall. Pushed further along. Elder got it back out. Now it's Middlestat for Eden Prairie. Down the left wing, Middlestat couldn't control the bouncing puck. Cycles out in through the slot area as he maintains possession. The junior throws it toward the front. Sullivan steered it wide. Middlestat picks up the loose puck. Plays it back to the point. Lieberman throws it out front. Turning Steen sends a shot over the top. Cross ice it comes for Molinar, and Joe Molinar from the red line sends it deep into the Eden Prairie zone. Lieberman first one to it. Up the wall for Sullivan, goes through him. Molinar there to hold it in, and Sullivan knocks it down and carries it out through center. Nolan Sullivan into the Minnetonka zone, works his way into the right wing corner and behind the net. Knocked off his stick. Middlestat bumped off the puck, maintains possession, comes off the wall on the back end. Middlestat a shot. Oh, great pad save that time from Hansen.
Real juicy rebound from Hansen there, but luckily no damage.
Rogers back the other way, knocked off his stick, and Steen picks it up, slides it ahead for Hunter Johannes. Johannes carries behind the net, thought about the wraparound, instead plays it back to the point. Rail into the corner. Quick centering pass, and the one-time shot from Lawrence right on. Hansen another save.
That pass was set up from the blue line with that pass from Louis Rawl. Louis Rawl set up that opportunity with a great pass.
Lawrence pulls it free, tried to go cross ice, but that was intercepted as we are now in the final minute of play here in the opening period. Young gets it ahead. Johannes cross ice for Graham. Graham tried to cut in, but lost it in Miller's skates. Miller plays it to the far wall where Van Sant picks it up. Tried to get it out of the zone and blasts it off the linesman. The Eagles will send it back in. Miller sends it right back out. Johannes sends it high, and it's good. Over the netting, or into the netting, just over the glass behind Hansen.
Now, is that 3 points in hockey, too?
Yeah.
One thing I'm really going to be looking forward to here, Joe, is one thing we've seen in the previous games, and that's the back checking. A lot of pressure put on here by both teams, and that's led for opportunities. So we watch the back check, and see if there's any opportunity there.
Irwin skates it into the Minnetonka zone, gets punished for his effort as the puck comes out to center for Middlestat. Middlestat sent it ahead and then blocks it back into the zone. Time running out on the period. Centering pass, Steen spins away with it, gets it free to Lieberman. A quick shot, Hansen the save. And that is how the period will end.
Hansen dropped down to that butterfly real quick to stop this game from being 2-0. Very nice save.
So 17 minutes in the books in this Gold Division Championship game. Your score at the end of one is Eden Prairie 1, Minnetonka nothing. Shots on goal in the period did favor Minnetonka by a margin of 12-9, but it is the Eagles that will take the 1-0 lead into the first break. Along with Jack Sand, my name is Joe Moore. We'll be back with second period action in approximately 15 minutes. You're watching the 2015 Schwann Cup Hockey Tournament live from Ritter Arena. And welcome back inside Ritter Arena. As you can see, the team's back on the ice in preparation of period number 2. The Eagles of Eden Prairie lead the Minnetonka Skippers 1-0. Lone goal of the first period came at the 4:24 mark. It was Cole Lawrence picking up his 3rd of the tournament, 7th of the season. The lone assist went to Hunter Johannes. Shots on goal again, 12-9 in favor of Minnetonka. Each team assessed 1 minor penalty, and neither team able to capitalize on their power play time. Joe Moore along with Jack Sand. And Jack, as we look ahead here to period number 2, your thoughts on the first period?
Well, it was a very fun first period. And, it's really a story for 2 different teams. For Eden Prairie here, it's keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on and stay the course. Stay clean and let your 10 seniors bring you home the gold. For Minnetonka, listen, you've got a great netminder back there. Trust him and hope that your following 8 seniors can tie this game up and bring you home a W. Should have a fun second period.
Eden Prairie clears it back into the Minnetonka zone. It does go long enough for the icing call, so we'll move the face-off back just 29 seconds into the second period. Both teams will switch it up. So is there anybody that maybe surprised you, somebody that stood out to you in the first period?
Well, it was a real back-and-forth first period. It really was a lot of action and a lot of really good back and forth. For me, I would like Eden Prairie to get the puck to that guy in the face-off circle right now, Casey Meidelstadt. He is your horse, and in every sport, you got to get the puck or the ball or whatever. You got to go through the hands of your best player. And I think if Eden Prairie is going to salt this thing away, I think it's got to be through double sticks.
This is Meidelstadt with it as he tries to bring it out of the zone, gets it through center, maintains possession, speeds down the right wing, drives and goes to the forehand and scores! Oh, what a move by Casey Meidelstadt, coast to coast, to give Eden Prairie a 2-0 lead.
And I won't say it, but I told you so. The speed that move was unreal. Great speed, and then that flip to the forehand, right to the backhand. Very, very professional looking for the kid who's going to be playing this hockey just right down the street at Mariucci. Very nicely done.
10th of the season for Meidelstadt as he ties his line mate Nolan Sullivan for the team lead in that category. 2nd of the tournament for Meidelstadt. Unassisted goal at 54 seconds of the second period.
And now for Minnetonka, it's how do you respond? They came out with all this fire, a lot of energy. Oh, hello. A lot of energy and a lot of the sense that they had something to prove. Now down 2-0 early here in the second period after being beaten up pretty good in that first. We'll see how they respond.
Loose puck in the far corner, pushed behind the Eden Prairie net. Getting bumped off it there was Kimball. Brendan Ryan kind of overskates it. It's just sent deep by Kavanaugh. Having some difficulty is Trumpy on the far side. It does get knocked out to center. Van Sant from the red line drives it right back into the Eden Prairie zone. Trumpy gets it away from McGannon and pushes it out to center. Van Sant steps in front of it and once again sends it back into the Eagle zone. Winding up, Elder a shot, got it on goal, the rebound, and Weinsick, the wraparound. Oh, that hit the post and came out as Weinsick was out of position on that one after making a couple of saves. Right back into the zone comes Elder, lets the shot go, sticked aside by Weinsick.
And this is just what the doctor ordered from Minnetonka. A lot of real good opportunities, and you got to figure with the law of averages, those will start to find the back of the net.
Van Sant ahead for McGannon. Took a weird hop off the stanchion there, and Eden Prairie starts back the other way. Knocked down at center. Here's an odd man rush over the line. Elder winds up, lets it go. Blocker pad save made by Weinsick.
You want to talk about a fortuitous bounce, man. That went right off the scansion that we were talking about earlier and went right to Ryan Elder.
Emerson gets it ahead. Borchert sends it into the Minnetonka zone as it's wrapped around the near wall and out. Young back to play it for Eden Prairie. Leaves it up the wall for Lawrence. Lawrence whips it ahead for Johannes. Couldn't control it cleanly, and he'll retreat into his own zone. Fires it back for Rail. Rail to the near side for Young. Ahead for Lawrence, or Johannes rather, off his stick at center. Now it comes free. Loose puck, and Johannes just got tied up. Thrown ahead. Pearson pass. Gets it ahead. Centering pass that time from Picciano. Never made it through. Pass steals it. Pass trying to work his way past Graham. Plays it back to the point. Down low. Weinsick another save as the shot starting to mount up once again for Minnetonka.
Pass just whiffed on that rebound opportunity. He would have been able to put one home pretty easily there.
Sliding ahead but not out was Young, and a shot from the point finds the back of the net, and the Skippers get rewarded.
Like you were saying, Joe, they were pressing. They were pressing for this entire period. After giving up that goal, I was curious on how they would respond, but great rigidity shown by the boys in blue, and we got a game again.
4:05, the time of the goal. Jack Kuzma gets it. It's his first. They hand him the puck. So they put that one on the mantle back at home. And right back in, another shot. Weinsick, suddenly the busiest man in the arena.
Well, I don't know if anyone works harder than you, Joe, but...
No, that's not true.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of a dive right there, but they'll get away with it.
Played ahead out to center. Knocked away by Steen, and once again, Eagles kind of find themselves bunched up. They'll push it past Irwin. And now Lieberman behind his net plays it past Skarda. Sullivan gets it out to center. Knocked free, and Miller in his own zone. For Van Sant, gets it back. Condre Miller for Van Sant down the right wing into the Eden Prairie zone. Lets the shot go. Pat save, big rebound up the slot. Another backhand shot. Is spinning through that time was Molinar. Weinsick another couple saves. Now Skarda pushed off the puck behind the net. Clearing attempt does find its way to Sullivan. Sullivan has it slide off his stick. It's picked up by Middlestad. He's caught from behind by Ryan. Sent ahead, touched off to the side, and swatted into the Eden Prairie zone by Ryan. First one to it is Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh tried to send it rink wide as coming in off the bench was Terrell. Played up the wall. Eagles pick it up, and Sullivan sends it the length of the ice. Icing call on Eden Prairie. Boy, I'll tell you, Jack, right now, Minnetonka really taking it to them.
Really taking it to Eden Prairie. And, you know, I've been really, really unimpressed with the spacing for Hill Murray right now. And that's really what's killing them. The spacing for Minnetonka, they're passing the puck, and they're getting a lot of golden opportunities. And if that doesn't change, we could see some changes here on the scoreboard.
Terrell pushes it down into the corner. First one to it is Kimball. Played it ahead. Blakawiak couldn't advance it, but then Kimball, following the play, gets it out to center. He gets it all the way to the Minnetonka zone on sheer determination. A clearing attempt hits the referee, and a quick shot taken by Delaney. Gloved and held by Hansen.
That was a tougher save than people might give Hansen credit for. That went right through the legs of his defender, and I'm not sure how long he saw that one. Nice pickup.
Shots are suddenly 20-11 in favor of Minnetonka, an 8-2 advantage here in this period. Although the teams have traded goals in the period, Minnetonka still trailing by one. Rail behind his net, plays it up the wall. Kind of fanning was Johannes. It comes free, and it's picked up. Played behind the net by Pass. It squirts free. Johannes gets tripped up. No call. Johannes gets the shot away. Blocker pad save made by Hansen. Back the other way is Picciano. Trying to cut in, but losing the puck was Miller. Now it's center, Graham. Tried to play it behind his back to himself. Graham centering pass, and that was just a touch behind Lawrence, who's now tied up. Played away, bouncing puck finally settled by Bowman, and he'll send it into the Eden Prairie zone as we tick under 10 minutes to play in period number 2, a 2-1 Eden Prairie lead. Scarta to the side of the net, a quick backhand shot by Molinar, steered aside. Now Scarta in the far corner. Plays it to himself, fanned on the shot, winds up, Molinar blasts one wide. Van Sant pushes it back into the corner. Swept by Graham up the far side, but held in by Scarta. Throws it toward the front, hits traffic there. Molinar couldn't come clean with it. And that puck sent the length of the ice by Cole Lawrence. Another icing call on Eden Prairie.
Well, that big blast from Joe Molinar. He's your overall points leader on this team this season, and can't ask for a better opportunity than that. And that was a clapper from just inside those circles. Very good opportunity. Yet again for Minnetonka.
Kavanaugh and Middlestad on the draw. Teams have really fought evenly on the face-off dot through this one. In fact, it was 8-8 in the opening period. As once again, Eden Prairie find itself stuck in the defensive zone. Turning, throwing it up the wall was Ryan. Irwin gets it ahead for Steen. He leaves it off Middlestad. Into the Minnetonka zone. Middlestad puts on the brakes, looking for some room, slides it for Sullivan. Sullivan pushed off the puck by Terrell. Steen picks it up. Steen in the corner, intended for Sullivan, comes back for Steen. Now he finds Sullivan for Middlestad. Middlestad centering pass comes free in the high slot and finally picked up by Kavanaugh from the red line. He'll send it into the Eden Prairie zone. 8.5 minutes to play in the second period. Halftime if this was football.
Eden Prairie's done a really good job of coming back with that intensity. I was unimpressed by their spacing and intensity earlier in the period. I thought that Matamidi just absolutely drummed them in that category, but I think the Eagles are right back to the pace they were playing in that first period.
Comes free again and sends it in. Andes is offside, so he touches back up. And that allows the Eagles to get it out through neutral ice. Brought in and fired on goal by Trumpy. Puck sent ahead, now one man back, McGannon. McGannon tried to cut in, but Kimball cut him off. And Gray Irwin gets it ahead. Blackowiak brings it into the Minnetonka zone. Lets the shot go. Pat save. Big rebound. Tapped off to the side by Van Sant.
Big time save by Van Sant.
Here's a shot and line check. Had it go through. Wouldn't have mattered as the play is whistled off sides at the line. 7:28 to play. Period number 2. Eden Prairie 2, Minnetonka 1.
It's really the little things that I've seen so far that have really given Minnetonka the edge. Just take that last play, for example. That rebound by Hansen, very, very juicy rebound. Very juicy rebound, but a great knockaway by Van Sant stopped any future trouble that could have occurred.
Johannes upended. We're going to get a Minnetonka penalty. Eden Prairie going to bring things back and set things up with the extra attacker now with the delayed penalty call coming. Sent ahead, and Van Sant will touch it, and we'll get the Minnetonka penalty. It'll be a tripping call, and it goes into the books at 9:55 of the second period.
And that's what speed does. You saw the speed on display right there from Eden Prairie. Had Minnetonka on the back of their feet, so to speak, or their skates, I suppose, if you would. And that's what led to the tripping.
Mitch Terrell to the box for the Skippers as the Eagles win the draw. Lieberman to the far side. Middlestad walks in and rifles a shot wide, and then it bounces right through the wickets of Michael Graham on the near side. Scarta, a little short-handed rush, has it poked off his stick by Lieberman. Middlestad far corner, whips it rink wide and through Lieberman, and it's sent right back in where Middlestad leaves it off, and Nicky Lieberman will start things ahead for Eden Prairie. To Middlestad on the left wing. Tried to cut in, has it stolen away, and that is sent the length of the ice, this time courtesy of Jack Kuzma.
And with the frenetic pace we've seen in these first period and a half here, as we talked about, it's a third game in 3 days.
Now cutting in, Graham goes to the hole, he scores!
That's the second time that Hansen's been beat on that forehand to backhand move.
Michael Graham, power play goal for Eden Prairie, and the Eagles are up 3-1. Time of the goal, 10:52 of the period at number 2.
You know, they have a Titantron here at the arena, and I honestly thought I was watching a replay. That goal was face value the same to the goal that was scored earlier by Casey Meidelstadt.
10th of the season for Graham, as a trio of Eagles now have 10 on the season.
And that really speaks to the depth of this Eagles team. Hello.
And we're going to get an Eden Prairie penalty. It'll be a holding call on Louis Rail. So Minnetonka will have an opportunity to answer right back on their own power play. Time of the holding call is 11:08.
And I'm sure Minnetonka can be none too happy about how high that holding call was. I didn't see the number, but it looked like the Eden Prairie defender had him a little high.
Middlestat and Rogers on the draw. Eden Prairie wins it. And Gray Irwin sends it the length of the ice. Eden Prairie penalty kill at 80.4% on the season. The Minnetonka power play, 7 for 39 entering play today. 0 for 1 already in this one.
We've seen Molinar Joe Molinar, your points leader, get a really good opportunity earlier on a non-power play. Let's see if he can take advantage of the man advantage here.
Comes free for Miller. Miller works his way into the face-off circle, plays it for Rogers behind the net. Irwin got a stick on it, but couldn't clear as Van Sant holds it in. Played down the wall, Skarda. Tries to go cross ice. Sneaking in that time was Miller, and back the other way. 2-on-1, Middlestat. In over the line, he's got Sullivan with him. Tried to send it across, but Van Sant got a stick on it. Now an odd man rush back the other way. Dropped back, Van Sant winds up. Bloodsik. Oh, Weinsek the save. Van Sant the rebound, plays it behind the net for Molinar. Off into the corner for Rogers, and now Skarda. Up top for Van Sant. Near side for Miller. Miller throws it up front, getting the redirect was Molinar, but a pad save by Weinsek. And then pulling the puck free, it's sent the length of the ice by Lieberman. And over the line with it is Pass. Pass lost it behind the net, and it's golfed the length of the ice by Delaney. Just 10 seconds left on the Skipper power play time as they start up the middle of the ice. Left wing pass. Further along, it's in Bowman for Pass. Rips a shot over the top of the net. Terrell holds it in as Eden Prairie is back at full strength and breaking away if they can catch up with it, but just a touch too far that time for Connor Olson.
Connor Olson had just come out of the penalty box when that puck was tipped around the blue line. Gave him a platinum opportunity.
Now it's Lawrence over the Minnetonka line. Just plays it around. Skippers get it out to center. That was touched by Irwin, so no icing here. Irwin's pass deflected, and quick centering pass intercepted by Johannes and knocked off his stick by Ryan. Lawrence pulled it free. Sent ahead at center. Rail mucks things up there for the Eagles. Now it's passing over the line, or Ryan rather. Ryan tries to cut in, but got bumped off the puck as Graham takes it for Eden Prairie. Plays it for Lawrence, who taps it back. Rail had it knocked off his stick, but he'll regain possession. Irwin overskates it, sends it ahead, but not out. Held in by Ryan, who works his way in. His shot knocked down by Irwin. Irwin taken to the wall by Kavanaugh. Pushes it through into the near corner. Graham couldn't get his stick around the referee.
More good pressure here from Minnetonka. Led to good things in that earlier in this period. We'll see what happens here.
Rail finally comes away with it for Eden Prairie. Louis Rail, his pass through Johannes goes the length of the ice. We'll get an icing call on Eden Prairie. Move the face-off back into their zone with 2:04 left to play in the second period. It's Eden Prairie 3, Minnetonka 1. Shots 23-14 in favor of Minnetonka in the hockey game. 11-5 their advantage here in the second period, but Eden Prairie with 2 goals on those 5 shots here in the second. Another icing call on the Eagles. That will allow me to run down the rest of the Gold Division action earlier today. The 7th place game, Burnsville knocked off Centennial, so Centennial, should they come back next year, will drop down to the Silver Division. In the Consolation Championship game, overtime was not enough to decide it. In a shootout, St. Thomas Academy prevailed 2-1 over Wayzata. And the 3rd place game, all gold affair, all green affair, I should say. Hill Murray and Edina, and the Hornets bounce back with a 5-4 win over the Pioneers. Play in the Minnetonka zone. Van Sant tried to push it up the near wall, couldn't play it past Middlestat. Now it's Sullivan with it. Drops it back to the point for Young and back for Sullivan. Trying to work off the wall with it. Plays it into the corner. It went off of Steen. Knocked to the line, and then Sullivan kind of kicked it into his bench, and we'll get a face-off just outside the Minnetonka blue line with 1:19 left to play in the second period.
And I wonder how Minnetonka is going to be able to come back with the firepower that Eden Prairie has, and you match that with the fact that the Eagles do have 10 seniors on their team, so they're not inclined to make a mistake.
Big hit as Johannes took the hit, but falling down after it was it Dominic Picciano. Behind the net, the puck goes through Graham. We're in the final minute of period number 2 as Picciano starts out. His pass tipped free at center. Skated on to by Bowman. Bowman's shot deflects, comes off the end wall right in the slot. A shot, and firing that one wide was Pass. From the point, thrown out front, and a pad save made through the screen by Weinsick. Sharp angle shot. Knocked down and finally cleared the length of the ice by Graham, and another icing call on Eden Prairie.
Well, with the opportunities they just had there in the last 10 seconds, you'd really love, if you're Minnetonka, to chip into this lead a little bit just so you don't have to come back from down 2 against a powerhouse like Eden Prairie.
Middlestat and Kavanaugh on the draw to the left of Weinsick. Sullivan picks up the puck, played it to the point. Van Sant holds it in and plays it right back down the wall. Rail tries the far side. Miller held it in momentarily. Now Steen down the right wing. Steen comes in. A shot. He hits a post. Carries it behind the net. Steen comes out front, plays it to the point. Irwin's shot. And sliding down in front of that to knock it free was Bertogliat. And this puck carried in offsides with just 0.5 of a second remaining in the period.
We're going down to the break 2. How about going down to the break 3? Man, Thomas Hansen, he's got it by his best friend in between his ears. Some lunch or dinner, I suppose, after this one's over. Lucky break there as we go into the third.
We drop the puck, the horn sounds, and we are through 2 in the Gold Division Championship game. And at the end of 2, your score, Eden Prairie 3, Minnetonka 1. Shots on goal in the second period, 12 for Minnetonka, 5 for Eden Prairie. And through 2 periods, Minnetonka has outshot the Eagles 24-14, but it is Eden Prairie that will take a 3-1 lead into this intermission break. Folks, we're going to turn down the sound. We'll be back in about 15 minutes with the third period of this championship game. You are watching the 2015 Schwann Cup Hockey Tournament from Ritter Arena. welcome back to Ritter Arena as we are moments away from period number 3 in the Gold Division Championship game. Eden Prairie leading Minnetonka 3-1 in this one. It is a Championship Wednesday for the Schwann Cup on the boys' side of things. And earlier games today at Ritter in the Open Division, Greenway defeated Minneapolis 6-3. Anoka won the Bronze Championship with a 7-2 thrashing of Bloomington Kennedy. And in the Silver Division, it took overtime as the first shot of this period rings off the post. Rosemont defeated Matamidi. Sullivan drives one wide. Middlestad played it down the wall. It comes bounding back out to center. And offsides at the line. Pearson pass, unable to drag the back foot. Well, Jack, 3-1, Eden Prairie. Minnetonka, do they have a shot here in the third?
You know, we were talking about it during the break here, and I was just looking at the Casey Meidelstadts, the Michael Grahams, the Cole Lawrences, and we haven't even mentioned Noah Sullivan's name, and he's their top goal scorer. You know, to answer your question here, I think if Minnetonka plays with the fire that they played with to start that second period, I feel like they've got a shot. But they've really got to keep the intensity up, and they've got to play like they did earlier. They've got the flash. For Eden Prairie, it'll be tough, but I've seen the spurt.
Rogers for Minnetonka spins, comes through center, right down the slot. Rogers on the back end of the forehand, and Weinsick makes the save. Centering pass intercepted and brought the other way. It's Johannes. Johannes goes to the forehand, lets the shot go. Steered away to the corner by Hansen. Doctor bounced off the puck. Trumpy gets it free. Blakowiak tried to go top shelf and nearly put it to the top of the seats on the far corner.
Look out. You know, I'm amazed with a team like Eden Prairie, when you're so senior heavy, to be able to come out and get jumped twice in a period now by Minnetonka after that really good chance there to open this period. As there's another one that sails very wide and very high, but I think if you're Minnetonka, you need to capitalize on that. And I think to help answer your earlier question, I think that's how you come back into this game. You need to jump on them, to jump on a team like Eden Prairie. That's what you got to do.
Well, Minnetonka has gotten more shots on goal. They've attempted more shots. They just really haven't found much of an answer to get things past Nick Weinsick in this one. As Weinsick covers it up, the face-off will move into the Eden Prairie zone as we have a very herky-jerky start to the third period. 15-15 remaining in period number 3. It remains 3-1 Eden Prairie.
And I was curious at this first period how Nick Weinsick would handle getting a day off and if he would be able to stay mentally tough. And I think the answer is easily yes, sir, as he is sustained this Matamidi pressure and now is just 15 minutes away from bringing his team some gold.
Bertogliat gets it into the Eden Prairie zone. Rail tried to play it off the wall. It gets knocked into the air by Bertogliat and then sent the length of the ice. And tell you, Eden Prairie not afraid to take an icing call.
No.
They've taken at least a half dozen in this hockey game to alleviate pressure.
And you know, when you've got the seniors and the guys with the legs and the experienced legs like Eden Prairie does, you can handle that. You can do that. And especially when you're not afraid with that many goal scorers to win a face-off and start on an odd man rush like this. Here we go. Look out.
Emerson tied up from behind by Van Sant. Van Sant going to go to the box. Emerson with it in the corner. Tries to play it back to the point. It's intercepted and will get the Minnetonka penalty. It's going to be a hooking call. It comes at 2:27, and into the box goes Zach Van Sant.
And I think that was one of those penalties where it was either sacrifice yourself and let your team live another day or give up maybe a dagger goal, and I think Van Sant made the right decision there because Emerson had nothing but blue skies and white ice in front of him.
Eden Prairie 1 for 2 on the power play this evening. They lose the face-off, and Bowman sends it the length of the ice. Middlestat leaves it off, and Lieberman starts ahead for the Eagles. Lieberman will stick handle his way into the zone and speed down the left wing. Leaves it off in the corner. There was nobody there. Pearson passed the first one to it. Sends it the length of the ice for Minnetonka.
And with all this talk of comebacks, Minnetonka has no chance if they give up more than just a few penalties with the just absolute missiles and goal scorers that Eden Prairie has.
Lieberman throws it out front. It hits the traffic, and the rebound bounced right to Kuzma, who sends it the length of the ice. Just a minute left on the Eden Prairie power play. Lieberman starts ahead, sends it to Middlestat. Not a bad option. He finds Graham on the right wing, dropped back for Lawrence. Down low, Middlestat drags it to the forehand and scores! Another power play goal for Eden Prairie. The second of the night for Casey Middlestat, his 11th of the season. And it's 4-1 Eden Prairie.
Well, Mama, there's that man again, Casey Middlestat. That was just, got it right there on that red line, parallel with the goal. Actually went in between his own legs and beat the goalie to that stick side, and 4-1 Eden Prairie here with about 13 and change left in this game.
I believe the assists will go to Cole Lawrence and Nick Lieberman. Eden Prairie taking advantage of the power play, 2 for 3 now tonight. And just the one assist given to Lawrence on that one. And Graham will actually pick up the second assist there. A hand pass here on Minnetonka. Going to move the faceoff back into their zone. 12:54 to play in the third. 4-1 Eden Prairie. So, Jack, thoughts on what this first game, when they're going to see each other twice more during the regular season? Sharp angle shot, save made. What lessons will be learned, what memories will be kept moving into game 2 of this season series?
Well, the Skippers will remember Casey Middlestat, that's for sure. Number 11 is not going away easily, and I think another thing that Minnetonka will definitely remember here is the speed. Just the overall team speed of the Eagles. They are flying around tonight, and other than a short stretch there at the beginning of that second period, Minnetonka's just been, honestly, looked a little overwhelmed here. And it's surprising to me to show up that way in a title game.
Slashing penalty here assessed to Connor Olson, comes at the 4:24 mark of the period, so Minnetonka 0 for 2 on the power play. An opportunity to cut into the Eden Prairie lead. Miller gets it ahead for Skarda into the Eden Prairie zone and down the right wing wall. Skarda kind of overskated, now picked up by Molinar. Molinar in the corner, crosses with Rogers. Up top for Van Sant, lets the shot go, steered aside by Weinsek. Golfing it, but not out of the zone. Hitting the linesman was Wesley Young. Rail plays it to the near wall. Skarda to the point for Miller, across for Van Sant. Van Sant rink wide, but getting a stick on that was railed. Rogers was lining up the one-timer. Now Middlestat carries back into his own zone to kill some time before he knocks it back out to center. 55 seconds left on the Minnetonka power play time as Miller starts ahead. Cross-ice pass in over the line, letting the shot go, but Turley bounces up, and the rebound swept to the corner by Lieberman, and now picked up by Ryan. Brendan Ryan avoids one, walks out front, plays it near point. Terrell to the side, gets it back, but the pass by Kavanagh goes between the point men and back into the Minnetonka zone.
It's two unfortunate sloppy passes on the power play.
Now Ryan down the slot, a shot, he scores!
Well, they made up for that, didn't they?
Power play goal for Minnetonka. Brendan Ryan makes it 4-2 Eden Prairie. 5:58, the time of Ryan's power play goal.
And that's how you get back into a ball game. Capitalize on power plays. And Eden Prairie, I've said it over and over and over again, a senior-heavy team that can't make mistakes like that, and they got beat for that one.
4th of the season for Ryan as Minnetonka comes back through center. Andez plays it behind the net as he was falling down. Elder pushed away from the puck.
And still plenty of time left in this hockey game too, Joe. This one is not over.
Sent ahead, Johannes in over the line. Johannes tried to get it back for Graham. Graham plays it off the far wall. Leaves it off, and Gray Irwin sends it behind the net. Picked up there by Lawrence. Cycled into the corner. Graham spins off a check there. The double team came from Kuzma. Johannes loses it behind the net. It's poked free near face-off circle. Johannes for Eden Prairie. Played it into the corner. Graham looking for the wrapper and put it right up front. Oh, what a great glove save! Unbelievable save that time from Hansen as Lawrence was all alone with an empty net.
Oh my goodness. You want to talk about keeping your team in a ball game? Hello. Thomas Hansen, how do you do?
You just stick your hand out and hope for the best.
Maybe even shut your eyes too. That was something else.
Face off to Hansen's left, won by Eden Prairie as they've started to take control of that face-off dot, specifically Casey Middlestat.
Dominant.
Had won 10 of 13 through the first two periods. Middlestat into the slot, knocked off his stick. It comes to Pearson pass. Pass gets it ahead. Miller in all alone to the backhand, and he sent it over the crossbar and into the netting. Oh, he looked like he had Weinsack beat on the glove side, but
he did. You're absolutely correct, and no pun intended, but Pearson pass through an absolute dime. That was a perfect pass right through two Eden Prairie defenders that found his way to number 19, Condre Miller. And you're right, Joe, he did have Weinsack beat.
Off the draw, Blikowiak brings it into the Minnetonka zone, absorbs the hit from Van Sant, but maintains possession. Molinar put a stick on it, or Scarda rather. Van Sant pushes it behind his net. Miller in the corner, absorbs the Duraney hit.
Ooh.
Now Miller in his own zone, ahead for Rogers. Poked off his stick. Van Sant has it stolen away. Trumpy knocked it free, but Rogers picks it up and sends it into the Eden Prairie zone. Tipped free by Lieberman. Duraney. Tip pass, Lieberman. 1-on-3, breaks three, gets hooked. Throws it out front. And as Rogers touches the puck, we'll get the Minnetonka penalty. It's a hooking call. It comes at 8:18 of period number 3.
And Nicky Lieberman, not a name you've called a lot tonight, Joe, but look at the speed from that kid. Very impressive, putting on the burners and just blowing right through the Minnetonka defense, excuse me.
Joe Molinar goes to the box for Minnetonka. Eden Prairie 2 for 3 with the man advantage. Middlestat down low, Sullivan out front, the one-timer deflected wide. Play back to the point for Lieberman, near side for Middlestat. Up top again for Lieberman, winds up. Throws it out front, looking for the redirect was Lawrence. Pushed away from Graham, sent out to center, but behind Ryan. Middlestat, Sullivan, work it into the Minnetonka zone, but Kuzma pulls it free. Can't clear it. Sullivan knocks it down in the slot. Sullivan trying to drive toward the net, forced behind by Molinar. Or check that, not Molinar. He's sitting in the box. That was Terrell. They slide it across, and fanning on it was Lawrence. Graham for Lawrence in the corner. Spins away from Terrell. Plays it behind the net for Middlestat. It bounced past him, but he gains it at the hash marks, down low. Return pass from Sullivan. Failed to connect. Middlestat picks it up. 55 seconds left with the man advantage. Lieberman to the far side. Graham fires. Blocker pad save made by Hansen. Rebound Knocked down at the far wall by Graham. Lawrence trying to fight through a check in the corner. Comes off the wall. Centering pass batted back behind the net. Picked up by Sullivan. Sullivan tries the short angle shot. Now Middlestat. Centering pass in the Lawrence. Didn't get much on it. Steered it wide.
Has Lawrence been spoon-fed on this power play or what? He's had 3 very good opportunities.
Lieberman for Middlestat off of his skate. Middlestat picks it up, trying to work it through Ryan. Ryan bats it free and starts down the left wing, one man back. Brendan Ryan. Lieberman back defensively. Ryan catches back up to the forehand, he scores!
How about that effort?
A short-handed goal for Minnetonka makes it 4-3, Eden Prairie.
Well, don't turn off the lights just yet. How about that individual effort from Brendan Ryan? And that's his second of the game and keeps him right in it. Very impressive stick work. Very impressive to get around the Eden Prairie defender.
5th of the season for Ryan, an unassisted goal, short-handed. Now back the other way. Denied was Blakławiak, and now we've got
look out.
all sorts of things going on. Trumpy was right on top of the goaltender, and nobody in blue was appreciating that.
They're underappreciated, but that was a great job by the ref coming in right there and stopping maybe something from getting a little out of hand there.
And it looks like we're going to get penalties to both teams with this one. We'll see if there is maybe an extra one way or the other, but my guess is we'll have some offsetting minors here. Van Sant will go to the Minnetonka box. Trumpy to the Eden Prairie box. 10:21 the time of these penalties.
You know, I got to give Minnetonka credit. Every time I've thought they've been down and out, they've proved me wrong. Whether it be a 3-goal disadvantage, a 2-goal disadvantage, or even a 1-goal disadvantage, they've come back. They've come back and they've made this thing interesting. So strap in, folks. We got a real fun one.
Kuzma will track it down in the Minnetonka zone. Sent ahead for McGannon. McGannon tried to cut in. The bouncing puck comes free in the slot, and that's for Blakławiak. Gets it ahead for Delaney. Return pass is intercepted and brought back in by Ondas as he trips down over Rail's stick and the blue line. Now Connor Olson the other way for Eden Prairie. Tried to send it in. A leaping grab by Miller. Sent across for Kuzma. At center, steered by McGannon right to Young. And he gives it to Miller in the Minnetonka zone. McGannon chipped it ahead, but offside. Backing in ahead of the puck that time was Pearson Pass.
And Hunter Johansson. I think that hit speaks for itself. He came up and just absolutely laid the boom on Mitch McGannon.
5:52 left to play in the third. 4-3 Eden Prairie, a lead that was once 4-1. Minnetonka out shooting the Eagles 29-21 for the hockey game.
And you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like Eden Prairie is feeling the pressure a little bit. I saw just on that face-off, Nicky Lieberman complaining to an official about maybe things getting a little chippy. So I like to see how Eden Prairie responds.
Right out front, it came to the post. Couple backhanded whacks at it by Lawrence, and he's quickly pushed away, and the Graham gets separated from Bowman. And this is the part that will be interesting to see in the rematch here in about 3 weeks, and another 3 weeks after that.
Oh, for sure. And we were just talking about that hit by Hunter Johansson. You know, I think there'll be a lot of hey, remember me's in the next couple of meetings here, and I think that's what makes rivalries great. And those will be very fun, must-watch hockey.
Middlestat turns, his shot knocked down out front, played away by Doctor, but he couldn't clear as it's pushed back behind the Minnetonka net. Terrell tied up with Steen. Tried to push it ahead. Sullivan there for Eden Prairie. Steen comes away with it. Pushes it behind the net. Doctor tied up with Sullivan. Finally played ahead by Bowman. It comes out, and Irwin drives it right back in. Eden Prairie touches up to avoid an offside. Terrell whips it across, kind of a dangerous pass, but it found the mark and then knocked away. Here comes Eden Prairie. Minnetonka changing. A blast. A pat save. The rebound gets pushed off into the near corner. Is coming down the slot was Sullivan, and Sullivan knocked into the Minnetonka net, takes it off. We'll reset that, and they're going to move the face-off outside the Minnetonka blue line with 4:44 left to play in the third.
You know, Joe, one name that I haven't heard much of tonight that I feel like Minnetonka needs to get going is their overall points leader, Joe Molinar. And I understand that he only has 13 and it's more of a team effort here, but this is a very talented team. And when you're a team leader like he is, and you're only down one trying to make a comeback in a championship game, every little bit helps.
Lawrence had it knocked off his stick. Young plays it ahead. Graham for Johannes. Back for Lawrence, and now Graham. Graham to the side of the net, poked behind. Johannes waiting on Kuzma, who kicked it ahead. Skarta's pass bounces back into the high slot, and Kuzma knocks it to the wall. Graham, centering pass. Lawrence plays it behind the net. Kuzma goes off, sends it ahead. Skarta pushes it further along, but Young knocked it down, gave it right back to Skarta. Molinar over the line, pushes it into the corner. It wraps around to Young behind the net, and he'll send it up the near wall out to center. Terrell plays it across for Doctor. He gets tied up, but avoids the forecheck. And over the line, Kavanaugh sends the wrister on goal, gloved and held by Weinsick, and the coincidental minors have been served, so Trumpy and Van Sant come out of the box.
And now we're really getting down to brass tacks here. We're really going to see who's survived this up and down skate in this championship game. We're going to see who has the medal to win all the marbles.
Off the draw, fought for right in front of the Eden Prairie bench and finally pushed into the Eagle zone before it's dumped back out to center. Terrell plays it across for Doctor. Blikowiak on the forecheck, able to win the puck back for Eden Prairie. Now Duraney in as well. Duraney in the corner. Muscled off the puck, gets it back, fires a shot from the hash marks, which is gloved and held by Hansen.
I think Eden Prairie just needed a change. Not your ideal shot there, but when you'd like to get back into the face-off zone and you got that number 11 entering the face-off zone again, you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Well, Eden Prairie certainly feeling the heat. They're really cycling the top two lines back and forth at this moment as that shot from Young is trapped and held by Hansen. Minnetonka's been really rolling three the entire game, sometimes four. Picked up by Miller. Sends it ahead and kicked further along by Bowman. Now Van Sant trying to get it to settle down. Pushes it ahead for pass. And offsides at the line. Minnetonka whistled down. 2:37 left to play in regulation, and still a little early, but kind of time to start keeping an eye on Thomas Hansen and see when he may leave for an extra attacker.
Well, my question with Minnetonka is, who's it going to be? Because right now you're living, breathing, and dying through Brendan Ryan. That's a dangerous hit. And you can't ask him to do any more, so who's it going to be?
Johannes in over the line, but Lawrence was in ahead of him offsides Eden Prairie.
And for Eden Prairie, it's just, can you salt this game away? Or even better, can you get one more from maybe Noah Sullivan or Michael Graham? Just maybe one more to put this game away. We'll see what happens.
Shots in this period, 12-7 in the favor of Eden Prairie. As the Eagles bring it in, Middlestat. Centering pass bounces back, and Skarda 2-on-2 through center. Poked off his stick as he got to the blue line. Skarda will keep it in the zone and then has it stolen away from Middlestat. Steen slides it into the Minnetonka zone. Sullivan, the first one, kind of skated past the puck, worried more about the man than the puck there. Back to the point it goes for Lieberman, throws it on goal. Hansen the save, the rebound. Van Sant couldn't clear it. Sullivan got a shot off as he was falling down, which is gloved and held by Hansen.
Hansen let that first rebound slip away, but not that one. Big time save. With 1:37 here, you got to think once they cross neutral, he's going to be making that quick skate to the bench.
The Graham line back out for Eden Prairie. The Kavanaugh line comes out for Minnetonka, a pair of 16s on the dot. Controlled by Minnetonka. It's Ryan in over the line. Brendan Ryan goes to the backhand. Has it slide off his stick. No call, and the Minnetonka fans not happy about that as Ryan, they felt, was pulled down. Miller leaves it off at the blue line, now picked up by Kavanaugh. He gets it into the Eden Prairie zone before it's knocked back. Minnetonka net is empty. They've got the 6 skaters out. In over the line. Thrown toward the goal, bouncing puck right out front. The net comes off. They wave it off. It looked like the puck may have been going into the goal. Weinsick was backed into the goal, and
did Eden Prairie just catch a break or what? Nick Weinsack was falling into his net. He had lost his balance, and you were right, Joe. That puck was going into the net. Man, tough break for Minnetonka because this game just as easily could be tied right now.
1:02 left in regulation. The Minnetonka goal sits empty with the face-off in the Eden Prairie zone. And a timeout has been called, and it's been called by Brian Urich and Minnetonka. So 1:02 left. You've got the extra attacker out. Momentum has been building here in the period for you.
Momentum has been changing so much in this period and this game, it's making my head spin. But you know what? I think Eden Prairie is doing the obvious, but at the same time the right thing, and having Casey Middlestat in that face-off dot, because one more win here could maybe ice this thing away with a couple of strategic moves.
Well, we've got the break in the action. Let's run down all the folks that have made the broadcast tonight possible, and that starts with our technical producer and director, Amber Johnson. Robin Urich running the camera for us tonight. My thanks to Jack Sand for providing some really good commentary tonight. My name is Joe Moore. I'd like to thank Craig Roberts. I'm sure a lot of you know House. He's been providing all the stats all tournament long. Our thanks to him as well. Face off to the right of Weinsick. Sullivan. And a Miller on the draw. Comes right up front, and firing it wide was Skarda. Tapped out to center. Miller gains control and brings it right back in. Stolen away from him and feathered out by Graham, trying to skate on it. Middlestat. Middlestat pushes it wide as he was disrupted from behind.
That kid is so fast.
Middlestat had the game clincher into an empty net last night for Eden Prairie. Pushed off the side of the net. Minnetonka feathers it ahead.
Inches.
TJ Rogers through center, cut from behind by Sullivan. Now Middlestat toward the goal, but wide again. Skarda picks it up. Skarda skates away from Graham and then past Middlestat.
Watch that.
Skarda into the Eden Prairie zone. Rail poked it free. It comes back toward the blue line, held in by Miller, thrown to the near side to Rogers. Less than 10 seconds left. Rogers fires wide. Miller on the far side. Can't get it. It slides out to center, and the horn sounds. And the Eden Prairie Eagles hang on for a 4-3 victory over Minnetonka here tonight. The Eagles are your Gold Division champions. A wild one, a wild finish to this one, Jack.
Absolutely insane. And my goodness, you know, for Minnetonka, I've been there. I've lost in a championship game. It is more than a bitter pill to swallow. Real tough. But you do find some solace in the fact that you do see this Eden Prairie team twice again. So maybe get some revenge there. Both teams, I think, as I've said multiple times in this tournament, truly did grow and truly did get better and have nothing to be ashamed about. That was another fantastic hockey game.
So Eden Prairie wins the Schwann Cup Gold Division for the first time in the school history. Minnetonka was looking for their third title here at the Schwann Cup. They would have become the only team to have won the Gold Division 3 times, but alas, they are stuck on 2. With the victory, Eden Prairie moves to 10-2 on the season. They get a whole week off before they host a couple of teams from up north. They'll get Cloquet Esco Carleton on Friday, January 8th, and then the Greyhounds from Duluth East on a Saturday the 9th, so that should be a fun weekend down in Eden Prairie upcoming. Minnetonka drops to 8-4 as they see their 4-game winning streak brought to a halt here tonight. They will be back in action Saturday night when they travel to Brooklyn Park to take on the Totino Grace Eagles. Final score once again, Eden Prairie 4, Minnetonka 3. As the awards will be handed out first to the runner-up skippers and then to your Gold Division champions, the Eden Prairie Eagles. Congratulations to them.
And really,
thank everybody for spending their Friday night with us. Final thought, Jack.
Well, I just wanted to say that, you know, even in high school, a championship is a championship, and I'm sure that Eden Prairie will win several more. But for these kids, this is something that they're really going to remember for the rest of their lives. So I really hope that they do enjoy this, and it was a very well fought, great way to win a tournament. And I'm really just honored to have been able to call it and work with you, Joe.
Jack, it has been a pleasure working the last couple of games here tonight with you. Fans, thanks for joining us on your Wednesday night. A Happy New Year to one and all. And our thanks to the whole crew here inside Ritter Arena. Your final score, once again, the Gold Division Championship game. Eden Prairie 4, Minnetonka 3. Good night, everybody.